Looks like boobs. Hello, everyone.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the virtual show, your only source
hold on. There's no audio for some reason.
What?
No audio.
I mean, there was on the other, but there's not on this.
Ah, damn. With that whole intro.
Well,
Your intro got in there. Your intro was in there, Dave, I believe. Because I saw the bar moving. Now you're good, Wes.
Now we're good. Okay.
No, it's not good. What the hell? It's still...
I hear audio. I'm listening to the stream.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Okay. Yeah. It's just not coming through on the...
No, I'm saying I'm hearing the stream audio in my headset like it's playing.
Oh, okay, so when I was doing my whole intro voiceover thing, it didn't come through, but it worked. It works now. It works now. Because the first thing you hear me saying is like, it's like boobs, which is totally out of context. That's like the first thing you can hear me saying on the show. Oh, excellent. Well, it's a late night show, so
yeah. Nobody watches this. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, no.
Anyway, welcome to.
No birthday girls watch this.
My mom watches this. What are you talking about?
Happy.
You know who else watches it?
My mom.
So let's clarify. Radio Run. So you guys hear Wes, and I see nothing moving for you guys. So that's my thing. So I don't see the bars moving. So as long as they can hear you, that's fine. But as far as my OBS is a liar, and I want to punch it in the face.
They can hear us. I'm not turning this flashing light off until you introduce me.
Well,
I need to.
I saw the. I think that we're all in the same bar. I think is what's happening. It's like, yeah, we're all coming through the same audio source.
That's weird. Okay, well,
whatever, man. Whatever works. Welcome, friends, to the virtual show, your late night source for VR gaming talk. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Eric.
What's up, everybody?
Also known as Mark, my good friend Ruuts.
Hey, what's going on?
And the newest member of our ensemble, Giant Blasting Squid Man.
Am I hired? Oh, the squid's hired. Okay, the squid's hired. Hold on. I was going to do my cool intro. Here we go. What about the guy underneath the squid, huh? What about this guy?
Oh, shit. I didn't even know Dave is under the squid. That's amazing. No, Dave, you're on probation. You're hired, but kind of not hired until
that's okay.
Until it works out.
Not a problem.
Anyway, welcome, friends, and happy birthday, Gamer Chick. I think is what we were trying to say through all that madness.
Shout out, big old shout out.
Happy birthday.
Anyway, welcome to the virtual show. It is late, and I think we're all kind of feeling it. It's good to know everything's working.
Yeah.
So there's that. But welcome, friends. Ruuts, how you doing tonight, bro?
Oh man, outside the clusterfuck start, I am doing awesome.
Hey man, it wouldn't be a YouTube stream if it didn't start out all fucked up.
That's true. It wouldn't be I wouldn't say root stream, but it seems like there's always some kind of audio.
I just said YouTube, not Roots.
Seems like there's always some kind of audio issue. So, but it's ironed out now. We're all good. Dave's here, and I'm excited to talk about some VR.
Yeah, Dave. People haven't seen you on camera for a while, have we?
Well, if you saw, the Virtual Boys, I've been doing the tour. I'm hanging out with you guys. I did Virtual Boys too. It's weird being on other podcasts because that was the only thing I ever did, for years, right? Was the Without Parole stuff. So it's fun, like chopping in and catching different vibes and stuff, and
you're the VR content creator journeyman, right? You're gonna just kind of float around.
Yeah. And my channel is not even specifically VR content creation anymore. It's like I'll play Metroid Dread or Death Stranding remastered on there or whatever. Whatever I feel like doing. There is still a lot of VR on there, but it's I kind of retired from worrying about playing every new game, and I don't know. There was this whole rat race, kind of aspect to it that I was just like, I'm not getting paid for this shit. I'm just going to go back to being somebody who plays whatever for fun.
Brother,
and, that's very rewarding, I would say.
I would imagine the freedom, right? And we're kind of the same way here. We don't like to. We like to do what everybody else does, but not when they're doing it. So this rat race you're talking about, we tend to not participate, which is why we're here a week later talking about Song of Smoke, right?
Yeah. It's better
So,
to not be timely about it, so nobody watches.
right,
Because then,
right.
we
Well,
can do whatever we can do whatever we want. So it's the perfect little alchemy.
which we do, and I do enjoy kind of having an independent voice here because typically, when everybody's putting the same video out, they're literally all putting the same video out. Typically, they echo one another in terms of their opinions, and we like to kind of do our own thing here, and I think you're going to fit right in.
Oh, I think so too. Let's get it started. What are we talking about today?
Well, before we get started, I do have.
Is there?
I do have. No, we don't do that. Our house is a mess.
Mine is too. I mean, you can see there's just like a stuffed shark here. I don't know.
We do our version of Romper Room days.
Oh yeah.
We do a call out. We look through the magic mirror and we see Phil Yarn and Onakazi. No.
Okay.
I just thought I just thought it would be wrong of us to get started here without addressing the elephant in the room. And people, of course, people know you from the Without Parole channel, and you haven't been on there for a while. So everyone's wondering, how is your relationship with Brian Paul and AJ today?
Well, I think I've got
This is Davestation VR. They deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Yeah, that's pretty much my
David.
That's my statement on the subject.
How dare you?
I recorded that before the show, and that's my statement on the subject, and I stand by it.
So
I love those guys. I talked to them on the phone and stuff. They're great. I was just hanging out in voice chat with Brian a minute ago.
Yeah, cool dudes. I think we all know that was all in jest. No, it was completely serious. That was Dave's pre-prepared statement on the matter, and we will not be taking questions.
Exactly. These are not the opinions of my employer.
Right. Anyway, we do have cool stuff to talk about. As we mentioned before, we've got Song in the Smoke. We're all going to be giving impressions on that. We're going to give some limited, which I don't know, maybe these guys got into it a little more than I did, but we're going to give some limited thoughts on Lone Echo 2, which just came out yesterday. And whatever else comes up, how we do it. We just kind of wing it, and wherever the conversation takes us, we go. But before all of that, let's get started the way we always do, by saying hello to our friends in chat. And as we mentioned before, Gamer Chick up late with us, the birthday girl. So let me ask you, Tiffany, is it your birthday on the 13th or the 14th? Because, October the 13th, there's a lot of superstition that goes with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
Could be.
You could have a spooky birthday. You don't want to see a black cat on your October 13th birthday. It'd be bad.
Well,
or walk under a ladder, or do the do-si-do. There's a lot of things you could do weird.
Or you're cleaning out your gutters or something. Spooky.
People still do that? Clean out their gutters?
No, I don't know. I see all these commercials when I watch TV for leaf. What is that? That leaf guard thing that you put on. Have you seen this shit?
I don't know.
TV?
It's like TV commercials are wild. It's all pharmaceutical ads, and then there's also like Leaf Guard that's on all the time. And I know we're sidetracking this, but
that's what we do, Dave. That's what we do.
So the commercials are so funny because it's just like some younger person looking at their older relative being like, "You still climb up on a ladder and clear out your gutters? That's so dangerous. You could fall and die." And then it's like, we come in and we put things on your gutters that, whatever. And it's like, I don't know.
It's all Leaf Guard and ShamWow. That's all there is.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Did you get Leaf Guard?
Ads, yeah. Well, I don't have gutters.
Oh. Well, see, the thing is for people that don't, like Mash said, who cleans out their gutters. If you don't clean out your gutters, you could actually have some really, really bad things happen with water. With water, bad. If it plugs up, it can flood. It can do bad stuff.
That's why I'm glad I'm not a homeowner. Sometimes I'll just rent forever if I don't have to deal with that shit.
Oh hell yeah! Just make a phone call. No. Hey, guess what? Your day just got worse.
My landlord sucks. I mean, all landlords kind of suck, but my landlord takes like 3 months to fix it.
See, my landlord's really cool, but I always try to be like really cool with him. But he's always responsive. So I guess it all depends, right? So my landlord's better than your landlord.
It sounds like it, yeah. No, I asked him, there was a hurricane coming through, and I was like, "Hey, could you help like board up the windows and stuff?" And this was when I lived next door, the attached place that has a bunch of giant windows that could easily be broken in a hurricane. And like, this is supposed to be a pretty bad one, right? Coming through. And he was like, well, I talked to one of my other landlord friends, and I'm not sure if I can do that. I don't know. They said they don't cover it. And I'm like, this is your house that you fucking own. You don't want it to be protected from the fucking elements of hurricane comes through. Landlords are not always great.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was a mild hurricane and nothing broke, except for trees fell over everywhere. But
So where do you live at, Dave?
Orlando, Florida.
Oh, hey,
Florida.
I used to live in
I am Florida
Castleberry.
man myself. Oh, Castleberry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida, the land of freedom, Florida. The place is looking better and
Not
better every day
really.
to me.
Not really. I don't know.
I'll be there at the end of the month.
They don't have legal weed here, so it's not that.
Oh,
I guess
I do have legal weed
Am
here.
I allowed to say that on
Yeah, you do.
Yes. I do
That's
have
what I
legal
thought.
weed here. I call it Colorado time, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
Eric, legal weed in New York. I don't have it here in
It is?
Kentucky either.
Yeah, just recently,
is.
like within the last like 3
So
or 4 months.
I went to
or
go
something like that,
visit
yeah.
Delirium Drew up in Michigan at his cabin, and like when we were driving out there, 2-hour drive, highway, nothing out there for miles except billboards for weed dispensaries. Like every like 10 minutes there was another billboard for a weed. It's like 2 miles down the road, and it's like, damn, these people love weed in Michigan.
yeah.
It's like the most little backwoods kind of, and it's like they got this weed shop that looks like an Urban Outfitters on inside, and it's just like super fancy. They're giving you deals like, oh, 2 for 1 and whatever, and I'm like, oh
Wow.
my god, this shit is incredible. Because you know, in Florida you gotta like, yeah, you got
Old school. Yeah, all the way back in the day, dude. We used to do that, right? So
yeah, this show's
But,
not about VR anymore. When you let me on here,
It's all good, man. It's about VR. It's about life. It's how we do it. I'm from Michigan. I've got family up there, and from the sounds of it, it's time for a visit, right?
yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
All right, I'm going to get a gummy. I'm going to get a gummy right now.
Go for it,
I
man.
have gummies I brought back with me, but they gummies never really. Do
Well,
it for me.
see, everybody's body's different, Dave. Because but they don't do much for me either. But other people, it knocks them on their ass. I think it's just whatever it has to break it down into something. I don't know. The THC, some kind of special kind of THC.
So, how high were you when you played Lone Echo 2? I guess let's transition. Let's transition into
Well,
that's a good segue, right?
yeah, that would be beautiful, but I must insist. Delirium Drew has joined us in chat.
Oh, what's
Speak
up?
of the devil. Wolveraza
Hey,
is here, as is Space Dennison. Onakazi in the house. Mepper. Got VR legs says grow your own. That's a good idea, right?
Not
Yeah,
a terrible
hell yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know when we let the grass get too tall here and let it linger for a month or so, the helicopters start flying really low
God,
and slow.
you can't say "let it linger" without me thinking of that song. Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Oh my god, that's gonna be stuck in my head for like a week now. Fuck.
Shout out Cranberries.
Yeah, cranberries are awesome. Zombie. That's the new alpha mode coming out. That's relevant, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil Yarn, Roy Schwartz, Radio Runt, the Night Crew, and even some people who normally don't stay up late. So what's up, friends?
Excellent.
Thanks for joining us. So let's talk about Lone Echo 2. Dave said that we need to get into a little bit of VR talk.
Let's a little bit.
Let's sprinkle it in there a little bit. Let me start off by saying that of all of the many hours of VR I played today to prepare for this episode, this is the game that I spent the most time preparing for, and yet I played the very least.
Interesting.
That makes
Let
sense.
me explain.
Okay, what are you preparing for? Like,
I was gonna say,
stealing
I
yourself mentally to like.
I think we may have the same
you
explanation.
meditated
I haven't heard yet, but I think we have the same explanation. Go ahead.
So the same thing happened with Eric here, right? So I didn't want to go into 2 without finishing 1.
Exactly.
And
I got you. You get it. Okay, yeah.
And I thought that I was pretty close to the end of 1. I wasn't. That thing just keeps going on. And let me tell you, I'm glad
So there's
that
no
I finished
previously
it.
on. There's no previously on at the beginning of Lone Echo 2.
There actually is.
Oh,
Yeah,
then you fucked yourself, man. Come on, you didn't have to waste that
It's a
time.
little. It's a little tiny bit.
Yeah, you could watch a YouTube summary.
I could have, but I'm glad I didn't because this entire franchise is about the relationship between your character, Liv, and I never really quite connected with her in my previous time in the game, and I always kind of wondered why people seem to be so attached to her as a character and to Jack as a character, and I found out why as you play through the last chapter or two of the game. It's really pretty dramatic stuff and very well done. And I'm glad that I didn't just watch the YouTube video
Okay,
because
cool.
now
That's
I think I'm going to enjoy the sequel a lot more.
Well, yeah,
Um,
I think my thing was I saw people play the beginning of it, and not having played the first one, I had no context for what was happening. And like a lot of people have said, and I think we'll probably get into here, is that it's like a slow burn kind of a game where it's not going to be immediately action oriented or like a lot of gameplay mechanics right up front. They kind of ease you into it with a lot of story stuff. And so, like, for me, I was thinking of playing it before the show, but then I was just like, I don't know. I don't have any context for this. And even if there is a preview on, it sounds like you said it's not really the same as going through the first one. So,
right,
Yeah.
and I would recommend that that you play the first one if you're going to play the second one because there is a lot of context to be had there, and to be honest, narrative wise, very reminiscent of Farpoint for me.
You know,
Eric,
actually, dude, you fucking. I was thinking of Farpoint the when you said that because that's sort of that era of games that I wasn't onto on PCVR, but like I was on PSVR. And so I got my Farpoint, but I missed out on the Lone Echo because I wasn't a PCVR guy. Like I didn't have a setup and a rig and stuff like that. So like it is interesting to think about going back to stuff like that because Farpoint's still awesome. You know, like in this day and age, Farpoint's still pretty good. So
right,
yeah,
I love
maybe I should check
Farpoint.
out the first
Hell
Lone
yeah.
Echo.
Yeah, and I would say if you like the story elements of Farpoint, you'd like Lone Echo. It's
I
like
do.
you take
I
all,
do.
all that. If you take all that awesome gameplay out of Farpoint and really exaggerate the storytelling part of it, that's kind of what Lone Echo is. Eric, were you glad to have finished the first one, leading into the second one?
Yeah, 100%. I think we were in almost the same boat. I thought I was almost like real close to the end. I got into it. I was probably about at least an hour and maybe 2 hours till I got to the end because it gets a little difficult at the end too, right? It's not the easiest thing. You die quite a few times. You have to make sure you get through everything.
Well, so that's interesting.
And-
Can you, as somebody who hasn't played it, because you talk a lot about how it's like story driven and there's not that much gameplay stuff, but like, how are you dying? Like, what are the conditions under which, like, what's happening to you at that point in the game? Just so I understand, like, how it plays.
Did you ever play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 on the Nintendo Entertainment System?
The side-scrolling one?
Yes. Well, I mean, it had side-scrolling. Maybe it was the first one.
It wasn't the co-op beat 'em up. It was the one where you go into the sewers and stuff and you beat guys up. Like,
right.
I
That
know
one.
what you're talking about. Yeah. I
Do
played
you
it a
remember
little
the?
bit,
Do you remember the underwater levels where you had to kind of swim through the seaweed, and anytime you touched the seaweed, you would get shocked and die?
That's,
You remember that?
yeah.
That's kind of what's going on at the end of
Okay, so
Lone
it's
Echo.
like environmental hazards. is what
Infections.
it's killing.
Infections.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It reminded me why I hate Echo Arena at the end of this game. I fucking hate that game, man. I hate that game.
I've never played
Yeah.
that one either, but it's fun to hear people vehemently dislike something, even if I don't have any context for it.
Yeah, well, I echo. How about that? I echo his. Eric's echo isn't a lone echo. I echo those sentiments as well. Fuck Echo Arena. And anyway, I with that said, I did enjoy Lone Echo. The later levels made it worth playing, but it's all narrative, right? It's all it depends on what your definition of a game is, whether or not you could even really call this a game. I guess by the usual definition we use is if you can die, it's a game. Well, you can die, so I guess technically it is a game.
It's like I think VR needs to have a new definition. Like there's walking simulators. People call stuff derogatorily a walking simulator, although some of them are quite good. But like I think space games in VR are just floating simulators. We got a bunch of floating simulators in VR. You know what I'm saying?
We do, but at least this one has some story. It's not like it's not like Detached or something like that, where you're just out in the infinite void
and you just crash your head into the wall like 90 times with no checkpoints and no save points, and you're like, oh, I'm running out of oxygen because there's no map that's useful, and I can't. Yeah,
right. Gen 1 VR, Gen 1 VR.
First 2/3 of that game were awesome. Last third of it was like so mind-numbingly bad. I don't know.
But it does have co-op, right? Am I wrong about that?
Detached? Really? Does it? I played it if it did.
I'm probably just pulling that out of my ass. It probably doesn't, but I'm probably thinking of something else. Ruuts. Ruuts, did you take in and finish the original Lone Echo story before going into the sequel?
No, I watched probably about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half of the last bit that I didn't do. In a gameplay, and I felt like I know everything that's going on. When I went into the game, I didn't regret it at all. You know what I mean? I wanted to get into the second one, and I didn't know how much time I had. And you know what's one thing? I
guess we've been talking about the first one a lot. We should probably get to the second one soon.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. We're working on basically. So this is the thing about the second one. I appreciate it a lot more after finishing watching knowing the story. You know, I would say this is definitely a game, Wes. First one or second one. It's got everything. It's got the story. It's got gameplay. It's got puzzles. It's got death. You know, and it's got. You got to think outside the box. You know what I mean? There's so many different things. Like even just the beginning of this one here, the second one. I spent 20 minutes trying to find a fucking part. I couldn't find.
That's a good thing.
Well, okay, so it was in a drawer, dude. And sorry if I spoiled the first little thing. But
I've been playing Metroid Dread, and sometimes I'll look around for 30 minutes for some shit, and I'm like, God damn this game, and then I'm like, I find it, and then I love the game again.
Yeah. I'm actually really enjoying this one a lot more than I thought. I spent a lot more time in this game than I would have thought I was going to. I planned on going in for 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I think I spent an hour and a half in there, and it's intriguing to know what's going on. The story, Dave, alone, I think is what would pull you in, right? So there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I don't know. So if we talk about the second one, it's been out 4 years. I mean, do we really have to worry about spoiling any of the first one at some point? I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but at some point, how do we talk about this without being able to talk about anything in the first one? You know what I mean?
I mean, I wouldn't worry about spoiling it because, like, honestly, if I hadn't played the first one, I would be actually glad if somebody kind of got me up to speed on what was happening. Like, if I was excited about the new one and didn't have the time to go back and play the first one, I wouldn't be like, God, spoilers. I'd be okay, well, thanks for catching me up, you know?
Farpoint's what's happening, except the dude's a robot, and
what do you mean? It's the same story as Farpoint?
Pretty good.
It's pretty close, man. It's pretty close. So there's an anomaly that shows up in the spoiler alert, by the way, guys. If you don't want to know what happens in Lone Echo 1, tune away now. Come back in 10 minutes, and we'll be talking about weed or you know whatever comes up.
More weed talk.
Right. Anyway, so at the beginning of the game, there's a big anomaly in the sky outside of your space station. And throughout the game, you're basically repairing equipment so that you can do a proper scan of it and find out what it is. At the end of the game, you get everything together, you scan it, and all of a sudden the anomaly starts to, you know, have some sort of seismic event. And a giant craft appears through the anomaly.
I say a giant crab. I got excited.
A giant crab. Yeah, it's that
squid crab.
It's that dancing crab everybody likes to put in their
I like
videos.
Fight Crab. You guys ever seen Fight Crab?
No.
Oh, it's a Switch game. It's hilarious. It's two crabs fighting. You can upgrade your crab, and they have like knives and guns and stuff. It's very stupid.
You know who else is you know who else has been fighting crabs for years?
My mom.
Oh man.
Yeah,
she's fighting a losing battle.
Anyway, long story short, Liv ends up going for refuge on the vessel that just showed up because our vessel is destroyed. You end up following her to she goes when she thought you were dead, out of commission. You're not. So you end up, the last chapters are all trying to find her and help her, and eventually you find out that that you went through some kind of a wormhole and time has passed, and at the end of the game you end up like 400 years into the future.
Okay, I've seen Star Trek before. That makes sense.
Yeah. But very, very Farpoint-esque what's going on here, which is a good thing because Farpoint, one of my favorite games, and Lone Echo, Eric, not very many games on this level in terms of sheer immersiveness and realism, is there?
This game looked amazing. This is one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
This is why everybody says it's like the AAA game, right? Like, because people talk about this as a AAA game, and I'm like, well, I don't see much gameplay, but it's because when you're in the headset, it feels like you're really there, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do need to try it. I do need to give it a shot.
It's almost photoreal. Like it's about as close as you could possibly get to photoreal.
Not on my
No, I mean, some of these spots in here they give you that holy shit VR moment. I mean, a couple of them. Wow. I mean, you're like, holy wow. I mean,
I'll tell you. You know what did it for me this time?
Wow.
Well, I couldn't believe it, and this is going to be the Jerry Rice winner or whatever we name it this year if we have that category. But
you guys have a category called the Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
winner.
okay.
Sports thing?
Yeah, no. So we have weird. So you're gonna have to go back and watch our 2019 and 2020
I'm never
show.
gonna watch this show.
But anyway, so we had so I was sitting there looking down at my arms, right, in my hands, and looking at the inside of my arms and the detail of the robotic arm and the hands, and there's fucking fingerprints on there, like individual fingerprints for Jack. And I was blown away by the detail, and just, as I'm always knocking about going in and looking at your hands, I'm sitting in there looking at my hands, marveling because the detail. What's that? On accident? Oh, acid? No, I'll tell you what. If I was, I'd be doing like this,
Well, it's just funny the way it sounded. It was like I was just like staring at my hands and my elbows.
Because the detail was so crazy, dude.
Like, oh man, I've never seen anything like this.
It was. I don't know if you've ever never looked at an android's hands up close, which I never have in real life.
I don't think anyone.
It was really it was really cool
in real life.
So, well, robotic people that make robots.
I would say that. I would say Desra probably has looked at robotic hands up.
He probably has. But an android is a whole different thing. That's like a sci-fi concept. We don't have androids per se. That's something that's so convincingly human.
True.
That it's
right.
Indistinguishable until you gut them and they shoot white shit out like an alien.
Yeah. That's a good point.
A rolled up newspaper down their throat.
Like who else loves it when you shoot white shit out?
Oh god, damn it!
Wow, damn, dude.
Boom.
I can't believe nobody jumped on that first.
Oh man, yeah, that was too easy. That was low hanging fruit.
That's why we go on after midnight, folks.
What do you think of Juno? Does anybody else distrust this robot? Something's weird with that bitch. I don't like her, man. She is very weird. I don't know.
I want to know where Apollo is. What happened to Apollo? He's our homie, and we haven't seen him yet. Which again, very early impressions. I have barely scratched the surface of the sequel. So with the original, I mean, everything that I said before about it being photoreal and highly immersive, I'm talking about the original. Ruuts, how do you think the sequel stacks up to the original? Is it an improvement? Is it par for the course? Because I mean, the original Lone Echo was way ahead of its time, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they just gave us more of the same, would it?
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I felt like it did. I mean, I felt like it seemed like everything was really sharp, really good, detailed. Lighting was amazing. I'm not a big fan of Echo VR either, but I do like the movement in the game as far as for this, and it was cool. Like the story so far was cool. everything that I had to do doesn't seem like I'm doing it for no reason. I feel like they've kind of streamlined things a little bit more, and a little bit more. I mean, early on exploration, right? So,
if you guys were gonna try to get me into this like it was a Netflix show, and you kind of wanted to give me the story hook, what would you say about Lone Echo 2? Like, what would be your elevator pitch? Like, to get somebody interested? Because I don't know anything
time travel,
about
bro.
the context. Time.
One of my favorite things to do in VR is time travel, and this one, it takes it to the nth degree, traveling hundreds of years into the future, and it's already was like kind of futuristic to begin with. So there's that whole futuristic sci-fi aspect of it, along with the mystery of space and odd surroundings. You're trying to become acclimated to future living inside of future technology. So if you're a sci-fi guy, that's really you're gonna dig this.
Cool. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
well,
into that.
plus you're right now in this particular sequel, you're outside of Saturn, and so the visuals of it. I mean, I haven't got outside, but I mean, seeing through the window. But in the first one, you're outside all near the end a lot, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the visuals and audio, just the production value period is the biggest selling point here. The storytelling, the voice acting, superb as always. It's just really masterful storytelling from a great underrated VR studio.
Somebody in chat said Troy Baker is in here. Troy Baker,
The
that's
voice of
he's
Jack.
The voice of Jack, yeah.
that's a pretty big name.
And
It's,
the voice acting is top notch here. I mean, it's
Excellent,
so good.
yeah.
They do a great job, and the story carries this game, and you need great voice actors to do that. So they nailed it. I mean, it's really good.
Well, they've got a good,
I mean,
really.
so many games have really terrible voice acting too, like
Very.
VR games especially.
Well, they've
you get a lot of indie studios who just like maybe they don't have the budget or I don't know what happened, but like
family members.
it just doesn't come out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a big point. If you can cut out that's definitely a good thing to cut out of your budget if you can do it. But
well, I mean, it cuts down on immersion when you feel like something takes you out of the game, right? Like,
especially acting.
Yeah, it's even if it's not a visual thing or an interactive thing. If I'm thinking about the voice acting in a game and how bad it is, I'm not feeling like I'm in a virtual space. I'm like, riffing on the voice actors in my head.
Well, what's cool?
like,
What's cool here is they, Jack and Olivia, they do have a unique relationship, right? And he's a robot. You're not supposed to be have feelings for each other. I guess even he's like making jokes and start catching her jokes and stuff. So it seems like he's becoming more human. There's there's audio files in the first one, and she named him Jack. I guess that's her brother's name, and so like there's a lot of depth to the story, and so you really do feel that connection because you are playing as Jack, and so that's one of the things that's cool too, Dave, is like the dialogue. So whenever you're having conversations, obviously you get to choose or whatever, but you choose it and he actually speaks it out, and so it makes you feel like you're really him almost. It's different than a traditional game where you click it, you don't hear yourself speak it, so you never hear that actor. It's almost like he's not real, but here he is. It kind of adds more of a human element to the robot, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's why when you hear a lot of people saying now it's a slow burn, I think it has to be a slow burn because you haven't been with these characters in 4 years. Has it been 4 years?
Yeah, you got to
haven't been with these characters in so long, so you have to reacquaint with them. You have to reestablish that connection between the two characters. So if you went right into having shit go wrong and shit go crazy right away before they even got a chance to give a little bit of backstory and connect it a little bit again, you got to build that relationship a little bit again in the beginning. So it is slower, but I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the pacing was fine.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, if it's narrative driven and that's the focus of the game, then yeah, it can be slow. I mean, plenty of things that are incredible are slow. Watch a Kurosawa movie, that shit is slow.
And it wouldn't work for a lesser studio, but the fact that the environments are so realistic, these seemingly menial tasks, this fetch quest that they put you on to repair this and repair that, actually just serves to build the immersion, because everything is pretty much one-to-one with what you would hope it to be. So I mean, it wouldn't work for everyone. A game that moves this slowly, but in this particular, flawless world, it actually works quite well.
Did you notice she also doesn't like if you get grabby with her in this one too?
Don't
Yeah,
get grabby. Why would you even try getting grabby? What's
Well,
wrong with you?
listen. Okay, so this
Go
is
to a course.
I'm
You need to
just
go to
I'm
a
just
course.
talking. I'm just
You need to go to
talking.
it.
I'm just talking about putting my
Someone
hand
needs to-
on her shoulder, or like just
Well,
I'm her friend.
Have you ever had a workplace ethics class?
No, I hope I never do. I'm a
Well,
robot. My
you
name is
need
Jack.
one.
I'm
Sounds
her
like
friend, and I just wanted to console
don't be
her. And
touching
she
her.
gets all.
If a robot was touching me, I'd be like, "Get the fuck off me, robot!"
Well,
She
here's the
did-
thing.
She didn't care when I saved her life when she was almost
Well,
dead,
that's a
dying.
different story.
She
But
could.
if you're being creepy in the office, in the workplace, you're
Well-
putting your hand on her for no reason.
Yeah. Well, this
Well,
is.
here's the thing. Robots, they especially these type of worker robots, they're going all around the ship, touching everything, but they never wash their hands.
Oh,
And we're trying
I never thought of that.
we're trying to make the curve go this way, guys, not this way.
6
So
feet.
I don't blame Olivia for
That's it.
being upset here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this
Anyway,
is also too, Dave. Like, there's times when she's moving around the ship and she's asking me to follow. I just want to grab onto her arm or something and let her drag me through.
You want to do like a.
I'm just
a conga
lazy.
line.
I'm
You're looking
lazy.
for
I want to do a
line.
conga line. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's officially the best way to get people to put their hands on each other's hips.
The conga line.
so-
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
that is essentially 100% true.
We need a virtual conga line.
We do.
Yeah, if we could hook that up via the I don't know. There's no way to really edit this, is there? I got my hands held.
Roy Schwartz joining us says, "Let's go."
Let's go.
Gamertag VR join us. What's up, GT? Traveling Man 3775 in the house as well. What's up, guys? Thanks for visiting. Anyway, speaking of voice actors, guys, you know who my favorite VR voice actor is?
Who's that?
It's the guy from Ivanovich Games. That guy is
Awesome. He's so good.
Awesome. They do have fun arcadey little,
Yeah, I love Ivanovich. I think
Yeah,
it's funny though.
My least favorite voice actor in a VR game is that guy from what is that game? Honor and Duty D-Day.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy
Deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
Oh
you play
yeah.
the-
What do you
can you
think
play the
about that,
guy?
Dave?
You should.
This is Davestation VR. They deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
That's all I need to hear. All right.
Oh man.
Eric, while the original did set the bar really high in terms of production value, I do feel like there was some marginal improvements here. It wasn't one-to-one. I do think that the lighting was better. I think the character models were a little bit better, especially when you look at things like the hair and the mouth when they're speaking. Already the best in VR even gets a little bit better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, after 4 years, you'd hope.
Yeah, right. But this is another reason I'm glad I went in this morning and did finish Lone Echo 1, because I got a pretty good comparison, because I jumped right into Lone Echo 2 right after. So, I had a good idea. It wasn't like I was trying to go on memory. I was bang, bang. I went right into the other. And there's definitely improvements. This game looks a lot better. The real-time shadows in this game are better than they were before. The lighting is great. Some of the edges are way smoother than they used to be. It was great before, and it's even better now. And I think they pulled it off. I really do. I think it's probably one of the best looking games I've seen on the PCVR.
Well, it's good to hear too that like on the same hardware that you just played Lone Echo 1, you're running Lone Echo 2 at a really nice, like it looks very good.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, I don't have the top of the line stuff. So that actually makes me excited to play it, and seems well optimized is what it sounds like.
Let me ask you.
It's one of those. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was
Rich.
just going to ask you if either of you had any jank with the game, because I did not, but I'm reading reviews.
Zero.
People are complaining about pop-ins and all sorts of weird shit, right? And like, I didn't see pop-ins. I didn't see anything that I saw in anybody's reviews. I didn't see in my gameplay, and I thought that was strange. And because people, and maybe this is gonna probably piss some people off. I would always see it was always the same thing. They would talk about their video card, 2080 Ti or whatever it was, but it was always followed by an AMD processor. And so maybe there's some kind of weirdness going on, because I didn't have, and it was Quest 2. People said you can't use Link, it doesn't work. Worked great for me, or AirLink. So it was like I was prepared for all this weird shit to happen, and nothing happened. And so I just was wondering if either of you had that.
Yeah, people just always say stuff online, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm worried. And then you're like, oh, I didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
Like, bugs exist, but they're bugs because they don't happen to everybody
That's
all
true.
the time. They're just like kind of random occurrences. Not random, of course, it's in the code, but like, not everybody gets the same bug at the same time.
Right.
And so you can have a run through of games where people are like, oh, this is buggy as hell, I blue screen a million times, and you had a great time, nothing happened. It's just sort of the nature.
Gamertag says he heard it happen. It was a texture pop with some video cards. It happened with him a lot. Well, there you go. So if Gamertag says it was happening to him, so
well, so this is my argument for console VR.
Yeah.
When PSVR 2 comes out, ditch all your PCVR shit.
well,
Because
not only for
here's what I'll say.
but
Here's
it's gonna
what
be.
I'll say. The PS5 is going to be rocking it. Sony's going to have all kinds of great first-party stuff. And you won't have to worry about, is my graphics card going to be wonky or whatever. Like, a game might have a bug, but with PCVR, the thing that always threw me off, because I've been into PCVR since, like, DK2. Like, I had a developer's kit or whatever.
Friction.
And the thing is, like, it's so hard to set it up right and make it, like, work seamlessly. And it's just like a thing that PC has always had to overcome for even flat games, I think. But like, oh, my graphics card has this weird issue. Oh, my drivers aren't updated. Oh, whatever. And like, oh, I need to buy a new graphics card to be able to play this fucking game half the time. So like, it's a thing that I think PSVR 2 is going to like really solve a lot of those issues. So that's me putting my 2 cents in here in the arena and saying, keep an eye out for that shit, because it's going to rock.
Oh, this is a conversation we've had.
It's going to rock
50 times on this, so we're all super excited for PlayStation 5 VR. Yes,
vibrate your fucking
yes,
face.
it is.
Whoa,
And you know who's gonna love that?
Whoa.
My
mom. Yeah, dude, I bet you will.
No. Sometimes, especially when you're like us, and we have very full lives, full-time jobs with families. Sometimes you just want to play, man. You don't have time to tweak shit. And console VR has always been amazing in that realm.
Scion says on PCVR you just wait for a patch, and a week later it's fine. You guys we don't know what we're talking about.
Right. Wait for the patch. Yeah,
just wait for the patch.
Anyway, I had no jank in my limited time in Lone Echo 2, and for what it's worth, when I was in Lone Echo 1, I played it with my HP Reverb G2 through Revive with the resolution up to 120%, and it didn't even hiccup, not one time. So
nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I can run
awesome.
Diablo 2 Resurrected on very high settings.
Nice.
60 frames a second.
I hit the G button and then I run it on high settings.
No, the G button is wild, dude. You don't put the G button on. The G button. I wish they could see the G button. It's crazy.
Well, I wish we could hit a G button and go retro with our stream.
With ourselves,
that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
That would be
you
cool.
got to get a filter for that.
Yeah,
that would be
cool. Who else likes it when you hit the G button?
My mom.
Yeah, she does.
Endeavor One in chat says Lone Echo is awesome, but I kept wanting to be handed a plasma rifle. I feel you there. Farpoint for life, friend. Farpoint. For life.
That's why they did. This one the second one has a gun, right? I mean, I haven't got to it yet, but that's what I heard.
It better have a plasma rifle, like you said.
I don't know about a plasma rifle. But.
That would be great. I mean, that was the most fun weapon in any game. Gamertag VR in the chat says Dave is right, but it's also Quest that has that benefit. No
that
settings
is true.
to mess around
That's true.
with.
That's true.
So here's what I'll say. That's a standalone console. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's not.
Yep.
That's
a
why
PC
people
thing.
love the console.
Everything,
or
yeah,
Quest.
everything, every Quest has the same specs. Quest 1 versus Quest 2, obviously that's different. Like, it's just like a console in that there are no variables to make things difficult.
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Like that's why.
In a highly curated store too. Both examples have highly curated stores, even to a fault with Oculus. But
Yeah, but let's address the elephant in the room. Eric, you were telling me about
how many
Upload.
elephants are in this room?
You were telling me
We already
about
addressed
how
the elephant in
Upload
the room.
VR is saying this game is the end of PCVR, man. Enjoy your final PCVR game, everybody. Your AAA game. This is it, because Oculus is out of PCVR, and this is it. And Eric, I heard Eric literally gag a little bit, like he was choking down some puke, because that's bullshit, right?
I mean, I love Upload VR, and I go to them for a lot of my news, but they write some of the stupidest fucking articles I've ever seen, and I don't understand it. I mean,
he was
how
cooking
do you
this up
come out,
even before the show. He had this.
How do you
brewing
come
before
out
the show.
and say that this is the last of the good-looking VR games for a long time, because this is going to be the last PC VR game? It's like they don't even think that PlayStation 2 is coming out, and soon, and it's going to have AAA games that are going to be amazing, and that nobody's ever going to make a PC game for Steam ever again. Is that how that works? Nobody's ever going to make a PC game ever again after Lone Echo 2? Come on, guys.
Yeah, you didn't get the memo?
You got to be better
get
than
clicks. You got to get clicks, man. Ad revenue. That's all.
True that. Well, they're good at that, right?
You said it was Jamie Feltham who wrote it, though, right? Typically, I trust this guy. Typically, I like this guy. So I just want to put that on the record. Like, I don't want to throw him under the bus, because he's done a lot for PSVR coverage on that. On Upload VR, he's been the PSVR guy.
Yeah.
When it was dead, though, right?
Right. Well, he was dead for a year with On Upload, man. When Jim Ryan came out and said that
some of that was Jagno. Some of that was Jagno.
Okay. Well, fair enough. But those guys were leading the PSVR is dead parade until the leaks. So
I don't know. I feel like Jimmy's on our side, but I don't
know. Well, we're all on the same side, right? We all love VR.
And him and Xena are cute. I follow their Twitter, and they're always posting stuff around the house.
I think sometimes, so for some people, it took a little bit longer to realize, to get them to come around. Maybe that was the case so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people weren't positive on PSVR at the start, and it took a minute to get into it.
Well, that is true.
Wolveraza says that is assuming PlayStation doesn't drop the ball at all. What do you think about that?
It ain't happening. Never happening.
Ball? Are you kidding? Have you heard? Oh my god, the leaks are like confirmed. So we're gonna have like Quest level controllers, but better, with the haptic and the adaptive triggers and shit like that. We're gonna have haptics in the face part of the. That's fucking ridiculous.
This isn't HTC we're talking about, guys. This is fucking PlayStation. Okay.
Yeah, and like they're saying that they're doing an initiative internally to make their big franchises have a VR offshoot, which is just like, yeah, everybody's gonna want one of these things. It's gonna be good. I
can't wait for Horizon, man. Horizon's gonna be amazing.
Facebook Horizon. I can't believe. Oh, something else. Never mind.
Not Facebook Horizon.
So, somebody tell me the last PlayStation funded exclusive that was like bad. Like, is there one?
Was Last of Us 2 funded by? No, I guess it wasn't.
That's not a bad game. Are you saying
well,
it's a bad game?
Okay.
Well, okay, you can have a hot take about it, but like it's universally regarded.
I never played it.
So you can shut up.
Even my son that didn't really care for some of the story said the gameplay was phenomenal. So I give it a hard time.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't like to kill Joel. Spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a few things about that, but I'll get off on an hour-long rant if we go there. Let me ask you though, Dave, before we move on from PlayStation 5 VR here, I'd like to know your opinion. March or November?
For the release date?
Yeah, March or next
month. I honestly would hope for October, just to keep it on the anniversary style thing, like make it the 6-year anniversary. Like this was
right. So you don't think we're going to get it in spring then?
I would be surprised if we did, especially with like supply chain issues. Like I don't know if they're going to have, even if it comes out, then no one's going to have one. Like it'll be tough to get your hands on one.
Wes will get one
if they try to release it that way. Although honestly, like the way it is these days with bots and like flippers, like people who scalp, you really can't get any new electronic or console on day one unless you're really lucky. And so I think that regardless of supply chain stuff, that'll still be an issue too, because it will be a hot item. You know, when they're like, oh, Horizon is launching with a VR mode, you know, and like we got fucking all these cool games, whatever. People
You think
like,
GTA 5's coming?
In VR, I'm not sure. I don't know about GTA 5. I think Gran Turismo, obviously, that's a sure bet.
Oh, for sure,
I think eventually Resident Evil 8 probably will be in VR. I could be wrong about that, but I think they'll probably do that. I don't know about Grand Theft Auto though, because the online mode has so many things in it that like optimizing all that for VR seems like a headache and a nightmare.
Yeah, but Rockstar announced that they were working on a AAA open world game a couple years ago, right?
Well, you know, here's what I want them to make a game that isn't the same fucking game.
Well, that would be a unique world we live in. We don't even can't even get movies that don't exist. But they used to
do that.
Cool
they used
IPs,
to make new
right?
franchises. Remember Bully and shit? It was just like a random ass game. Like, so they would make different things.
Have you heard of It Takes Two, Dave?
I love It Takes Two.
That's the coolest game the most innovative game I've ever played.
Really,
and I played it with
all the
MASH.
way through, but I played like the first like 2 hours of it.
Oh shit!
Really
MASH and I are like 12 or 14 hours in.
Oh my god,
MASH is my boo.
Going. Yeah, I'm Ruuts' boo. I gotta be real in that game.
You're his work girlfriend.
It was good, dude. That's one of the most funnest games I've ever played. So.
I thought you guys put that one away. I thought
no, we still got what 2 to 4 hours left, I think.
At least the game keeps going, man. We hit 14 hours. I mean, we stream for at least 4 or 5 hours every time we do it, and we've done 3 sessions of it.
That Book of Love.
Okay,
man.
So I need to speak to Onikaze in the chat. He says Bully is a reskin GTA. That's fine. At least they did something that wasn't just GTA. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
what are you going to do when
to some degree, like, isn't Red Dead Redemption just a reskin to GTA, like with some Western
Red Dead
shit
Redemption? No, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games I've ever played.
But I could not finish it because it was way too fucking long. And you know what pissed me off? I was riding my horse, right? And I stopped. No, seriously, I'll tell you this. This is what made me stop playing the game. I parked him next to somewhat next to a train track. And he's wandering off, and I'm not paying attention. I'm like foraging or some shit. Train comes by, kills my horse. He doesn't try to run. He just sits there and gets fucking decked by the train. And then he's dead. And I don't have a horse, and I have to walk back. I was like, oh, fuck this shit. This is terrible. Like,
what are you going to do when...
I think a smart horse would dodge a train.
Couldn't you have... There's always people going by. You could have taken somebody out, stole their horse or something. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. But I play as a nice guy.
Well, so do I. But I mean, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you just killed your horse. How nice are you?
I didn't kill him. He walked in front of the goddamn train.
You parked him in front of the train. Stop.
No, I parked him near the train, and he took a little walk.
You know, Daisy likes to wander, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Jesus Christ.
So Endeavor 1 in chat says Astro 2, REA, GT7, GTA 5. I like it as the launch day.
I
want a game from Housemarque on launch day, because Housemarque has a tendency of launching titles with new platforms. They did Resogun, they did Returnal.
I want Returnal VR.
And so Returnal VR would be cool, but I don't know if that's what it's going to be. There was a rumor a while back, because there's a leaked store listing for Nex Machina, which was one of their previous games in VR. And I DM'd them on Twitter, and I was like, hey, what's the status on that? And they were like, oh, well, we can't really speak on it. But they didn't say they weren't working on it. So that leads me to believe that in some capacity that could be the one, because they had already had plans to do it in the past, but maybe it just didn't work on the OG PS4. And so that could be like a launch title for PS5 VR. That's my thought. I don't know.
I'm interested. I love Returnal, man. I love Returnal, and I'll try anything else that they make in VR. Based on that. What I really want with my PS5 when it launches is a brand new remastered Skyrim. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want fucking another Skyrim.
Another Skyrim, yeah.
Anyway, why don't we move on? Lone Echo 2.
That other game. Yeah.
Yeah. Lone Echo 2, so far so good. I'm sure we will be revisiting. Well, let me ask you this. Roots, is that game going to bring you back? You going to go back into that one?
I think I will. My thing is I totally, this whole couple days has been a topsy-turvy world for me, man. I go in thinking one thing, I come out thinking something totally different. And I'm really enjoying the story. And I feel like there's something more this time going on for me anyway. Obviously I guess it was going on before, I just wasn't seeing it. Although I would be remiss to not mention this, Wes. Why the tutorial in the beginning again? That was my thing. I'm like, I
just skipped
You can
it.
skip it. You can skip
Oh,
it.
I didn't know you
I
could.
did, yeah.
I was
I
like,
just skipped
fuck,
that.
man. I went through it again. I was like, shit,
How-
deja vu,
How fucked
bro.
up is that? How
Yeah.
fucked up is that Eric and I skipped the tutorial and then Roots did it?
Dude, that's the kind of shit I'll do on a stream where I'm like, God damn, why can't you skip this tutorial? Like, you can skip it, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I went through it, but I guess it just said that Dave, if you don't know, that's one of my pet peeves is these long tutorials. I don't have time for that shit. I just thought I was stuck in there.
Eric, are we going to review this one?
Hell yeah! I mean, I got 2 hours and probably about 2 hours into this game, and I didn't, like I said, it took me a long time to finish the last one. I mean, it took me 3 or 4 years. So, but this story is starting to evolve even more than the first one. So there's some deep lying stuff going on in the background, and I think it's even better. And I want to go right back in, and I think I'll have a report of a completed game by the time we come back next week.
Wow.
So,
How long is what is the estimated length of this game?
I haven't looked. I've been trying not to look at anything, so I really don't know.
Okay.
Gamertag VR, if you wouldn't mind letting us know in the chat what the average play
I
time
can
is.
just go on to howlongbeat.com and let's figure it out.
Sure. But I concur. I think that this would be a good one. I don't know. I'll have it done in a week. Good stuff, good other things to play this week, but definitely
World.
sometime soon. I think that we should.
I quit.
Not
I'm
happening.
quitting New World.
Yeah.
Done with that. Done with that.
They actually
Hot
don't
garbage.
have any.
Hot garbage.
They don't have any finished playthroughs for Lone Echo 2 yet on How Long to Beat, unfortunately. So no one knows.
Radio Run says he
Radio-
hears 7 hours.
7 hours? That's about right. That seems like a decently long.
And Gamer says
Gamertag says 8 or 9 because
Yeah.
he's terrible at games.
I mean,
That's what I always hear about Gamertag.
if it's like the first one, you have side missions that you can
Just kidding,
do or
JT.
cannot do. So if you choose to do all the side missions, I don't know if it does in this one or not. But if you, I don't, it might be a little bit more content.
Yeah, I always
It's
do
good to hear
those
that they
things.
have side missions. I mean, like that there's all additional stuff to do.
No, yeah, hell yeah.
There's a lot actually in the first one.
Did your heart drop, Wes? Did your heart drop a little bit when she told you or reminded you that this is it, bro? You got one body. Because like the whole first game, you had unlimited bodies. You die a million times. They just keep moving you into a new robot. And there's this point, Dave, in here in the beginning where she stops you and says, "Hey, you've got one body. If you
Slow
die,
your roll.
this
Slow
is
your roll.
it."
Yeah.
And he has a moment where he actually a robot like contemplates this, right?
Is this like a data thing?
Well, so the data before the way it was is
No. No. I mean, Data, the character on Star Trek.
Oh, I
like,
don't know. I guess
The concept of him. I don't know if you guys have watched Star Trek at all.
Oh,
like,
I've watched all of them. The Next Generation.
Oh, hell yeah.
that when he has these sort of things where he's like trying to learn music or trying to learn how to be funny or something like that.
Right.
Like you get these little moments where he's actually sort of
That's exactly
going
what
beyond his
happens.
programming. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There's
That's
a
cool. I
point
like
where
that.
she tells a joke and the other robot says something about, hey, how that it's not logical or whatever. And Jack says, she was joking. And then she's like, oh, you got the joke. And then, so like you could tell that was kind of like a moment where
He was
like
testing out.
and he's just becoming more human in a sense, right? Like it's just kind of a weird dynamic. So
Right, and throughout the first story, you're constantly saving one another. She saves you, you save her, and again, I'm so glad that I went in and finished it because I do feel a bit of the connection there now. So
Yeah, and you can die in this one too. Still, by the way, because even though in the beginning there's something that happens later on, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but you can die. So
Yeah.
Well,
even though they say in the beginning that you can't do that, later you
Wait,
can.
they say you can't die?
I glance
No,
over and I see
well,
You're
a
not
shark
allowed
in
to.
there.
If you die,
Yeah,
you're dead
it's like,
forever.
in the
Yeah,
first one, you could just, if you died, what happened is
Well,
your
yeah.
consciousness or whatever that his construct was downloaded into another unit, and he just kept coming back and coming back. And
So
you're
what
a
saying
one,
is-
you're a one of in this one because she basically is she's on this derelict station and she rebuilt you from scratch. So you come back as this is it. If you die, you're pretty much spent. You're not coming back, and then
but as
down
a
the road,
as a gameplay loop, as a gameplay mechanic, you don't just permadeath die forever.
Yeah.
You have checkpoints and you come back, right? Like that's a story
Right.
thing more than it is
Right.
a gameplay mechanic, right?
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, let's move on and talk a little bit about Song in the Smoke.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm here for. That's the one.
Game of the. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's the one everybody played this past week. Seemingly, Song in the Smoke content left, right, and everywhere. And big words within the community regarding this game. A lot of people framing it up as a potential Game of the Year candidate.
That's a goatee.
Which is, I mean, it's kind of new ground for a survival game in VR. Cards on the table. I'm not the biggest fan of survival games. Like I've tried them before. I mean, I kind of like The Forest, but really the only thing I liked about it was hanging out with Ruuts and Scion and our friends. I didn't really care for the gameplay that much and couldn't really get into it. Thankfully, not the case here. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of survival games, I think this game is unique enough to hook more casual gamers such as myself. Dave, what did you think of The Song in the Smoke?
Well, I want to just parrot something that my good friend Brian Paul said, because I think this is probably the most like cogent way to describe the game to me. That's like a really good explanation of what it is. He said, there is not a story in this game. There is everyone's story, like your story. You play
Your story, yeah.
Yeah, when you play it through, it's different than anybody else played it through because you are finding things on your own. And it's emergent gameplay where you don't really know ahead of time what you're supposed to fucking do. And like, I'm glad my chat was telling me to skin these tree branches or whatever, because I would have never figured it out because I'm a moron. But I like that, you could watch 5 different people stream it and they would all have a different experience entirely. And I think that speaks to the fact that the game is really well designed in a way that like it allows you to make it what it is. You don't have to do anything. Like you have got to eat, you got to stay out of the cold. But like beyond that, like, you progress at your own rate and you discover things at your own rate. And you kind of explore and just like, become one with the environment, figure out what the fuck's going on. And then sometimes a guy runs up on you and you're like, oh my God, this guy's trying to kill me. And you're like, fuck, you shoot him with a bunch of arrows. And then you take his guts out.
Right.
So like that happens as well. But yeah, I think it's a really, really interestingly designed game. And hearing the developers talk about it before it came out, I was already on board. Like,
Yeah. That's
funny
what sold me
that-
too. That's what sold me too was the developer interview on Upload. Like I wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it looked kind of cool.
No, it sounded so interesting when he talked about it, like the concepts behind it and what they were trying to do. And I was like, okay, I got to play this thing. And then it's crazy because they made another game before called Galaxy that is entirely different. It's like a shoot 'em up kind of game or whatever. And I loved that game a lot. And I even bought they had like a little 7-inch record of like the theme song, and I got that. But like this is so entirely different. It's like a leap forward, like a quantum leap forward for them, because it's really deep and it's really
Polished.
it's thoughtfully designed. It's polished. It's just like it's like a slam dunk. Honestly, like this shit's pretty good. that's my opinion on it.
So do you think though, if they had a story though? Because there's some background here, but do you think it would be even better if they had a story, or do you think it's played better because it doesn't have a story? You're making your own story.
The concept of the just vagueness of like you're here and you have to figure it out. Like I do like games that don't give you a helping hand or explain themselves to you sometimes if it works. Like if a game is trying to be a normal game and it doesn't explain itself well, obviously fuck that game. But like if a game is intentionally designed in a way where it's not trying to reveal too much of itself to you and you have to figure it out, if it's done well, it's really nice. I really like that.
Yeah, and what
It's like
really
a
kind of
mystery
helped.
to unravel. Like,
Right. What kind of helps me bridge that gap of the lack of a story here is kind of the world that you're in. It's not like a one-to-one representation of our natural world, but there are elements of like spiritualism, and all of the creatures that you encounter are kind of like mythical creatures. And that whole element of it really made me, it made me interested in the world around me, in the place of where there would be a story. It kind of that aspect grabbed me. Ruuts, we often talk about survival as a genre. Survival is an established genre, but this is one of the first games I played in VR where I think that the word survival is like an accurate description of what you're doing here.
yeah, half the time you're trying to do anything, you're like, oh fuck, I'm dying of hunger. Like that happens constantly. Like
right, and what you said's right. You're kind of learning as you go how to do these things, and
it's like
and
I'd love
that
to dry out all these pelts that I got and make clothes so I wasn't cold all the time. But I need food desperately. Like,
dude, I starve constantly the whole time I play this.
Yeah, pretty much every time I've died it's starvation because I can't. I'm really bad at hunting. I'm terrible at hunting, and I would be in real life too. So it's like pretty accurate.
So, Ruuts, what did you think about the aspect of the survival? Not the stereotypical survival genre stuff, but the fact that this game doesn't give you the whole book when you start it and tell you what you need to go do, but instead you're just kind of in this surreal environment trying to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, it seems very peaceful. It's nice. It's
what
beautiful.
Do you mean peaceful? Did you see that freakish three-headed crow monster with the fucking face in the middle?
Yeah,
when you start the game.
You gotta let me.
I thought that guy was gonna kill me.
Yeah, well, see, my thing is
he's helpful. It turns out, but
yeah. Well, I go in there. I'll preface it, I guess. And it's peaceful, and I'm walking around. The water's nice. There's a waterfall.
The water is nice. Yeah.
I'm hungry. It seems like I'm the most hungriest I've ever been. Constantly hungry and never able to find food. So that's the biggest threat. But man, there's threats out there that you don't even think. You decide you're gonna close your eyes for a few seconds, and you starve to death in your sleep. You die in your sleep. That's the thing, is there's so much going on here, and it's really about the crafting. This is a game that I don't even know. I think maybe you would like it, Wolveraza. You say you hate crafting, but you're not getting around the crafting in this game. You have to craft.
Yeah, no, you have to craft. I mean, like, and you have to remember a bunch of things too, where it's like, okay, if I shave down this thing and then hit this thing with this item, then I can make an arrowhead, and if I attach a feather, then I can make it better. And like that's a whole thing you have to know in your head. That you
and that's
learn.
Right, and
to
that's
make the bark shavings. You have to know, like, what do I do to make the bark shavings, and you can't make a campfire without them. So it is so trial and error, like.
And that's what makes this game succeed, where other VR survival games have kind of failed before it. Is this game was really the first one that was built from the ground up for VR. All the other ones were flat ports, but this game, the crafting in this game is VR as fuck. Like you have to do everything with your hands, and it's fun to do. At least at this point, and I obviously I haven't played through the entire thing, and it might get old over time, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
I think as you get
right now
better at it, like, and maybe I'm just going to parrot everything Brian said in his review on Without Parole, which is a great review. I think it's one of his best reviews, and people should watch it if they're curious about the game. But like, there's this sense of you get faster at things, you get better at things, you actually build skills. Like you can make a arrow way faster than you used to. You can take down a deer way better than you started out taking down deer. Like inventory management as well, all that stuff. Like you just get better as you go, and it makes you feel rewarded because you did it all yourself. The game's not really pointing you in that direction. It's just like, well, you got to live and while you're living, you might as well do some other shit. So
Right,
I don't
right.
know.
In the chat, Endeavor One says the Terrata concept art sealed it for me. And Eric, a lot of people, especially the hardcore VR, a lot of these PC guys will immediately mark it off for not having hyper realistic photoreal graphics.
Ah, fuck that shit.
But for me,
Thumbs down from Davestation VR.
I mean, it looked very good, but the sound design in the game brought the immersion level up to such a high degree.
Oh, yeah,
that
the skittering sounds behind you
Oh,
at
God.
night. You don't know what's out there. And
The water from the waterfall, the water from
it's-
the brook that's running through is sounds
it's
it gives
really
off is
well done.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
Just
very,
the wind through the leaves of the bushes and the trees and shit's so cool.
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's one of the best games I've ever played in terms of sound design. It does a lot of the same things that like Journey of the Gods did to kind of overcome their art style and still build immersion. They do it here too. Only they kind of take it to the next level.
I take issue with the fact that they have to overcome an art style here because I think this game looks pretty good.
I'm not
Even
saying
on
it looks
PSVR.
bad. It looks great.
On PSVR,
But-
it looks pretty good. I don't think they're having
Oh,
overcome it.
oh no, I'm not saying that it looks bad. It looks great. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
but if you're trying to become immersed in a cartoony world, you kind of have to rely on other aspects to help build that immersion up. That's all I'm saying.
I guess so. I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm just immersed playing Neko Atsume VR, playing around with cats.
I watched you play that. That was
As I am doing
entertaining.
everything else. And that's
The
just
problem-
click
the
turn
pro-
and DualShock 4 and stuff.
Yeah, the problem is here is any PC VR gamer who doesn't like anything that's not photorealistic is not going to like this, and they're not going to like probably 15, 20 other games out there. So you either have to say, this is an art style, not a developer choice because they can't make a great looking game that's realistic,
Right.
Yeah,
or you have to, or you're going to miss out.
Borderlands?
Yeah,
Has
or you
anyone
could-
ever
or-
seen
yeah.
fucking Borderlands? Come on, like chill out. Like,
How many fantastic games will people miss out on until they just come to the conclusion that, look, these games don't have to look photorealistic to look
Yeah.
beautiful. This game is gorgeous. It looks fantastic.
And
don't
it's
need-
immersive.
I don't need every game to be photorealistic.
art design trumps photorealism every single time. Every single time for me.
Yeah.
Like photorealism's fine, but art design is way better.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. Ruuts, what did you think about the art style and the sound design in this game?
I think it's amazing. I did play. I went into both the Quest and the PCVR version. I went into PCVR first, and then
cool.
went back and forth.
Wait, so they have a Quest native version of this?
Yeah, they got a Quest version.
Okay. I'm
It's
behind
still
the curve. I don't keep up with this stuff.
it
'cause I was
still
here to
looked
talk
really
about
good, but you could tell the
PSVR.
PCVR was way had way more assets. The water looked so much
Yeah.
better. The
I mean,
lighting,
Has anyone tried it on PSVR besides me?
I have not.
No, but what I did do
Okay,
is
I'll have, interesting, unique opinions then, apparently.
I did watch a side by side video of the different versions, and the PSVR version is very similar to the PC VR version.
I mean, if
The
it's
Quest
optimized for
version,
Quest, you would think that you're not
Yeah.
going to go super high on the PC.
Well,
aspect.
let me ask you: Is this Quest 1? I don't know. Is it Quest 1 also, or is this Quest 2 only?
I think it's Quest 1. I think you
Yeah.
played on
Aren't the only
on
Quest
all
2 only
platforms.
games like Resident Evil
Yeah,
and like
so-
one other one?
Yeah. So I mean, if that's the case, I mean, again, this is just another case, I think, of the Quest 1 holding the Quest 2 back, because I don't think that you would see that much of a difference if they only had to develop for the one unit and not both.
It
Yeah,
is,
I
and
mean,
it is a
people
noticeable
prioritize-
difference.
People
It is.
prioritize the Quest,
Yeah.
and then you sort of, if you can get incremental benefits on some other platform, you do it. But it's like,
Yeah.
Drew made a good point, and I noticed this. The Quest 2 version
Drew made
takes
a good point, that's strange.
forever to start. Like I
it
was
does,
standing
yeah.
there, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like, did it lock up or something? And then I mean, it was like a minute or so, or at least.
Yeah, same thing for me. I thought that the game had broken, but it just took that long, man.
Yeah.
oh wow,
Um,
that's funky. So is
yeah.
it quicker on Quest 1 or is it just bad on both?
Yeah, I haven't tried it on Quest 1. I sold my Quest 1 when I got Quest 2. But the moral of the
I've had
story is here.
And I gotta say briefly, my Quest 1 is at my friend's house, and we were supposed to play mini golf together regularly, and he never charges them. And
Mhm.
so, because he was like into the idea of playing mini golf, and I was like, yeah, I'll just leave my Quest 1 over there. We'll just play mini golf now and then.
He's just telling you whatever he needs to tell you to get to that
No, but I
point.
played mini golf with him already, and it was fun. But
Right. Yeah. Well, I just broke into that one for the first time the other day. The walkabout
yeah.
mini golf.
Oh,
Yeah.
Walkabout's great. I haven't played the new course yet, but they have a new course that's supposed to be quite fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's becoming a household favorite and one that
It
I'm.
ought to be, dude. Like, it's one of the
Yeah.
best multiplayer games you can get on Quest. Absolutely. And it's really easy
Right.
to set up a game. There's like no friction at all. It's just you're in there. You know?
Cross-platform play. I mean,
It's
it's
great.
a nice. Yeah.
Wolveraz has
yeah.
got a good question. He wants to know if the load times are long in between areas. It's just the load
No.
time in the beginning. So once you're in, everything's good. It just takes that long to start the game.
Got VR Leg says Quest 2 has had more issues. So apparently Quest 1 is actually better at running it for some reason. But
Hmm.
that's what
Well,
they say. That's
maybe.
what they say. I don't know. I can't.
That'd be surprising, but yeah.
You never know.
Well, I would, judging by the quality of this game, the overall polish level, I would expect that there's probably going to be a Quest 2 enhancement at some point. And just to be clear, the game is great on Quest as well. It's just that much better on PC. The world really fills out, and on PlayStation, the world really fills out. There's a lot more like insect life and a lot more like leaves and particle effects and stuff like that to really make the world more rich and again more immersive. And again, I can't stress enough how great the audio design is in this game. Especially, I've been playing it with the VR ears, which I just got in, and sometimes you really, I mean, if you close your eyes, it sounds spot on like you're outside at night. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the game.
Let me ask you this, because I was telling Mash this yesterday, and I still feel this way, even though I did open up more to the game. I think the hunger meter is obnoxious, and they way overdo it.
Dude, yeah.
It's
dude,
like the
you're
one thing that
constantly like,
and it pulls
if I
me out of
ate a
immersion.
big-ass chunk of meat, I would not be hungry in the next 20 minutes.
Well, and it's just
Yeah,
like all the things flashing all over the
ridiculous.
screen. I
Yeah,
think
and
they
there's
could have
like,
done it
yeah,
a little
you're
bit
hungry,
less in your
Hunger
face.
is the most intense one. It's just ridiculous. It's like I could eat a bunch of berries, but those barely even help. And
Yeah.
you want me to kill these animals, and they're running like crazy, and I suck at shooting shit, so I'm just gonna die, I guess. Like, have a day.
Now, I agree. I do agree that the hunger meter does move a little too quickly. But with that said, I do enjoy the way this game uses visual cues to let you know what's going on. So you'll have like the little symbols that'll flutter in front of your eyes for just a moment.
What I don't
That's
like
so.
is
It's not
like,
just
so
for a moment. It's
I
the
get
whole
that. No,
fucking
but-
game because you're always
and
hungry.
also,
So those things
you're
are always
he's
in your
right.
face.
He's right.
It's
he's
like
right.
having a
And
really bad UI in your face the whole time. I just think it's
You're
too
actually
much.
right.
I like it.
It's,
I like
no,
it. I like
it's
it.
it's a good game, but I agree with Roots entirely on this. The other thing too is that your character constantly moans.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I have a girl, and she's just like and it's like I'm just hearing this woman like cry out in pain, like the whole time I'm playing the game, and I'm like, I can't shoot a deer. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Like,
My guy's constantly telling me, because I'm always trying to
Well,
climb shit. I'm just supposed to climb.
It's no worse than Walking Dead though. How many times you got to hear that dude cough? You're like,
oh, but
don't
yeah.
cough anymore in Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead is
No, I know, but I hate it. I
different.
hate that
It's
part
different.
of it.
This,
You
anyway.
know, I tipped you guys. You know, I tipped you guys.
Oh, you did. Let's do a tree guy appearance. So let me. I should. We should pay you for that, Dave. I love that. The tree guy.
Who doesn't love the tree guy, right?
Fuck you! Fuck you! You broke my thing! You broke my thing!
Fuck you, get out of my tree world.
So I guess let's end where we began with this one.
Okay.
Game of the year candidate. What do you think?
Maybe. I mean, it has this like sort of je ne sais quoi, if I'm going to be pretentious. There's like something to it that really draws you in, and I think at first it may not seem appealing to everybody, but once you kind of get your hooks into it and you kind of get that joy of discovery and like figuring out things as you go, I think it's actually really rewarding, and it's one of the more interesting games that we've had in VR in a while, and I think it's pretty long too compared to a lot of VR games. Like,
do you feel like this is a game that like most people would enjoy playing?
I mean, cool people.
So do you think there's any recency bias as far as like, I mean, because obviously
I don't think so. I mean, if this came out 5 years ago,
dude, people are calling this game of the year, and notably after a month where PlayStation had 0 releases. I think there might be a little bit of that at play here. Honestly, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong.
But I mean, it's on other platforms too. I mean, it's not like it's just a PlayStation release, and people are liking it on other platforms too, right? Like,
I think if you're absolutely hate crafting or you hate survival games, you're not going to overcome that.
But to me, there's not enough here for game of the year. Because
story wise, there's
you can't get away from this as a survival game because there's nothing else but that. So
it's true.
If they had the story with it, then you could draw you through. For the people that hate survival, if it was a story that could draw you through it, and you would just, okay, I'll do that because I love the story and the visuals are amazing. But to me, if you don't like the tediousness of this type of game, it can't be game of the year.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, I can see that.
I think.
I mean, like I said, like it's your own story. Like it's whatever happens in the game is what happens in the game, and then you can tell people, oh, shit, I was about to die, and then I encountered this dude, and then I was able to get the rocks to make a campfire, and I surved, and then I ate the food or whatever.
I mean, when you do shit like that, it makes you feel so good, right? I mean, that's what's great about this game is when you figure shit out and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I just figured it out. It is great. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I don't know if it's game of the year.
I'm not saying game of the year yet by any means. I've only played like 2 hours of the thing, so I have no clue if it's game.
So I am one of these people.
Game of the year.
Well, if we're going to go that route, Returnal. But
well, didn't that come out last year?
No. Well, maybe.
It should get game of the year every year. It's that good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I haven't gotten past the second stage in Returnal. I'm terrible at it. So I don't know. Stardew Valley, game of the year.
Anyway, I am one of these people who doesn't really like survival games, but I do like this game. I do enjoy this game, and even though there is again a lack of a story here, it's not a story-driven game. I love this world. I love discovering what this world is all about.
Got like a magic to it. Like there's
it's mystical. Yeah,
exactly.
And I enjoy the weirdness of it. And I will say that
it will run up on me, and I'm like, I have to shoot this man in the face. I don't even know what he is.
Right. And then you see little spirits and visions all around. You find graves everywhere. I'm digging it, man. I wouldn't call it the front runner for game of the year. I would, as of right now, think that it's probably going to be in the conversation.
Of course, yeah.
But again, I need to play more. Maybe it gets old before we roll credits on it. But I'm digging it right now.
Do you think it would be better if it was multiplayer?
Nah.
Oh, 100%. Everything's better.
Like the forest. I mean, that would be great.
I don't think so. Personally, I'm going to stand out on this one. I don't think it would be better if it was multiplayer. There's like a unique sense of like you're all on your own. You're all by your lonesome in this game, and like that's part of the gameplay loop. Like you don't have any help.
Yeah, but I need help.
I think that just because you need help doesn't mean the game.
Well, but see, think about how amazing would it be if like I'm like about
like, oh, you need help.
I'm about to die, and I'm like I look to Eric or Wes, and I'm like, dude, where's my food? Like, let's get a fire going. Come on, guys. And then they're like, fuck you, bro.
Mean, that's cool and all, but I think.
And then Ruuts eats my food.
And then I eat wrestling.
I know, right?
There's something much different about a survival game where you play by yourself than.
I will say this. I did feel like I was surviving because this is my gameplay here, and I was like so happy when I found I was like searching logs and shit for mushrooms and stuff. I was like looking everywhere
What are
for
you looking for
food
mushrooms for?
because they're
Oh, for food.
food, man. I was so
Yeah, they
hungry,
are
dude.
food.
I
That's true.
don't care what it was. Give
I
me
was hungry as
something.
shit, yeah.
It's the drive for food in this game is so real because I just didn't want to hear the noise and see the flashing shit.
Yeah, fair,
Hmm.
fair, yeah. And
Yeah.
my lady kept going, and I was like, just
Yeah.
fucking, just wait 3 hours to eat.
Just-
What's wrong with you? Just fucking.
So Scion says that Campy Game of the Year says 3 primarily arcade gamers. I didn't realize I was only an arcade gamer. Thanks
What's
for
an
letting me know, Scion. Thanks
what-
for letting me know, Scion.
That's
I
awesome.
appreciate that, bro.
What's an
I'm
arcade
too.
gamer?
Well,
I don't
what's
know.
an arcade
That's-
gamer is I stream Cruisin' Blast, the predecessor, or the antecedent. Is that the right word?
You're asking the wrong dude.
I took the SAT and I got decent scores on the vocabulary.
I'm a
No,
math guy.
Antecedent. No, I got lucky on the math because I accidentally was doing math when I was supposed to be in the vocabulary section, and no one noticed. 'Cause that'll get you kicked out of the SAT. But then
For sure.
I realized, and I flipped back over, so I had an extra like 30 minutes on the math, which I needed because I'm not as good as math.
Hey,
like,
I
as
just
am at
FYI, you can't make a fire without a fire pit roots. I
Yeah.
just want to throw that out there because I didn't
You were
know
trying
for
really hard, bro.
I even used all of my rock up, and then I was like, I guess I can't do it. It was getting dark. I had to go. I went and I hid in this corner of this fucking thing, and I kept waking up and like every so often to make sure that I wasn't dying because that thing, whatever kills
Okay.
you, will sneak up on you quick, right?
Waking up to make sure you're not dying is an interesting concept.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the most unrealistic part of it because you have no control of that in real life. But it was you need your rest, man, and so it gets crazy in there. And all I wanted to do, this was all I wanted to do. I just wanted to make a fire and save it. You can't do that, Roots, without the fire pit.
Nope.
Crazy.
I just wanted to be able to have enough time to let my mushrooms and meat dry out, but never do they actually make it all the way because I starve if I don't eat them.
Yeah.
I ate so much raw meat.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, me
poisoned a
too.
couple times, man.
Did you?
It happened.
See,
Yeah.
I just eat whatever. I don't even. Can you dry the mushrooms out? I
You
never
can
did.
dry.
Yeah.
There's a drying rack you can put them on.
Fuck, man,
it
I
takes
didn't.
overnight usually. I think.
Yeah, it takes a day.
Well, and then there's
anyway-
other elements to this too, right? Like you can't just put your fire willy nilly where you want to because rain can come in and put the fire out while you're sleeping. So you kind of have
That's
to.
right.
You really there is a lot of thought to this. Everything about this.
One
It's
thing, though,
extremely
like,
polished.
we talk about how the game doesn't really give you that much guidance, right? But there are certain areas where in the first couple levels they'll put just like a bunch of rocks right next to each other, like screaming at you, like make a campfire here.
Right.
Like this is where to make a campfire.
Rocks and
There'll
sticks.
just be like 9 rocks on the ground and a bunch of sticks, and you're like, okay, well, this is probably
and
where
a
I'll
spark
make
and a
campfire.
couple sparking stones,
Yeah,
right, to make a fire.
But
Yeah,
but I
like,
didn't.
The game does guide you a little bit in that way, where it's like, oh, you come across this area that has stuff that makes sense to make into a campfire, which in my mind is like, make a campfire here.
You should be gathering. You should be carrying that shit with you always.
Well,
You know
but
what I
then
mean?
you get full. My cloak gets full like all
Get
the time.
Get a bigger cloak. No, I need.
Yeah,
I want a
I
bigger
need a
cloak.
cloak upgrade.
I'm not in
Yeah.
a big cloak yet. I'm just a regular cloak.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, Roots, where does it fit in the game of the year discussion? Does it have a place, or is it just a niche thing?
I think it
It's top
absolutely. I
5.
think it absolutely has a place in the conversation.
Right.
Uh,
I would agree with that. I
sure.
don't know
Say
that
top
it's.
5? Top 5?
See, I don't know. I mean, there's so many good games that came out. I mean, it very possibly could be top 5 depending on what platform. But I
For
think
sure on PlayStation. For sure on PlayStation. I don't know if overall, but yeah, for sure on PlayStation it's probably a top 5 release this year. Off the top of my head, I do think that Hitman 3 is probably still the front runner. I really like Sniper Elite a whole lot as well.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the ones that really stick out to me right now.
Fracked.
Fracked.
So
Oh yeah,
short.
Fracked.
So
Thank you.
short.
Yeah.
Fracked was
Yeah,
so
that-
fucking short.
Yeah, the
Like, they
length really
promised it
hurts.
was gonna be
Hurts
like
Fracked.
3 times
So
as
good,
long
though.
as it was. It was great. I mean, I really liked it, but they just said it was going to be like 6
Oh,
hours. it was nonsense.
No,
That's another game that if it had a story
the
to
demo
it
was
would have
like
been
a third of the fucking
way
game,
better.
Dude.
Yeah, they needed some backstory for that game. Yeah,
But it
and
was
that would've
really
been
good.
longer, too.
And
Or they
I
did
thought
some
the,
cutscenes or something.
I also thought the enemies were samey and kind of repetitive, and didn't really care too much for that character design stuff. But it's a cool game. Like it looks great.
Yeah, the action sequences are good. I don't think that.
Yeah, the set pieces kicked ass. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite on the level of Blood and Truth, which is a
it's not.
criminally underrated game in this year for some reason.
What?
Underrated.
Would you put Arashi in top 5?
Nah.
No.
I like.
Well, I don't know. I need to go back in.
I need to play with the sword fighting update.
Yeah, they just had that great update, and people said that their biggest complaint was
Are they still in
the
chat?
combat.
I just said nah. So
I know, right?
decisively. Like, are they still in chat? Fuck. Sorry. I really.
No, I need to go back and play the update.
No, dude, they sent me like a plush Haru doll and stuff, and I feel bad saying no. I mean, I like the game. I love Tenchu and stuff, but there's certain things about it that I hope in this update and in future updates make it the game that I really wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't speak.
I talk to them all the time. Like, it's cool, but like, I have to be honest, I guess. And
I haven't even been back in since the pro patch. I haven't even seen the pro patch yet. So, like, it could be a very different game now than it was when I played it. So, I don't know. As it was when it launched, I wouldn't say it's a top 5 release this year, but it's still a very good game, very fun game. Anyway, I think that is going to wrap us up here. Really quickly, Ruuts, you mentioned multiplayer a moment ago. I just wanted to let everyone know Swarm had its very first multiplayer beta today. So
that's awesome.
Multiplayer on the way for sure, coming from
fun.
Sword.
I like Swarm.
I love it, man.
Galen's hair is probably rejoicing.
Very fun.
Oh yeah.
This is Drew from Arashi. They sent me this.
Nice.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
That's
love
awesome,
Peru?
man. That's amazing. Yeah, so I think that's going to wrap us up here. Dave, thanks for joining us, man. It was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
Hey,
tolerating.
can I hear the soundbite one more time? Because I freaking love it, man.
Hold on, we got to get one more true guy first. Okay, that's good enough. But we need some context for the sound clip. Let's get it set up.
Well,
I'm asking you guys to improv right now.
Improv. I used to be good at that once upon a time.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about? Shit! No, I lost my lost my train of thought. I'll get there. I'm trying to think of a studio name, a specific studio name that just got picked up by Facebook. Who did Facebook just pick up, guys?
Hard question.
Like recently? Like
yeah,
Why'd you guys-
recently.
like big, not like big box,
Can we
right?
do a brief side note about how fucked up that Senate testimony about Facebook was? Anybody see that shit?
Oh yeah,
I did not watch it.
The thing is
no,
the thing
here's
is
I
we
don't think that I'm
Facebook
comfortable
we
buying. I don't think I'm comfortable buying Oculus shit in the future.
well, this is the
because
thing,
Facebook
dude.
is really, actually, really not.
This
good.
is the thing.
Facebook actually really sucks.
We've had our negative things to say about Facebook.
I don't know if they're sponsoring you or anything.
No, we've said our Facebook shit since
That was a
day
joke.
one on the just everything. As far as we love the technology. We just wish it was in somebody else's hands.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's just like they're
What big company is fantastic? Google?
Well,
you like Google?
no,
Valve,
You want
remember Valve?
Apple?
Here's
You want
the thing.
Valve, the
Here's the
hero
thing.
of all
That's
VR,
not-
right?
But that's abdication of responsibility. That's not, they do things with their platform that are irresponsible.
Oh yeah.
And that here's the thing. Not everybody in the world needs to use Facebook. And when you roll out Facebook to a country that is like, say, going through like ethnic cleansing, maybe they might use it to like heighten that, and it becomes a whole fucking thing. And then Facebook just like escalated the whole conflict. That's happened before. That happens because they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, oh, let's put Facebook over here. Everybody should have Facebook. And it's like, nah, dude. It's like, I don't know. They just don't understand their product.
And funny thing about that,
it can be used in so many ways that are really, really harmful to society, and it is used in many ways that are harmful to society. This is my rant at the end of the show. So
right. And the funny thing about
as a guest host, I get one rant.
and the funny thing about ethnic cleansing is it's much easier to pull off when everybody has VR headsets on. Just saying.
God, I thought you were going to do my mom clip.
That would have been a good one. All right, so let me ask you, Dave Soundbite, cue it up. What did you think about Capcom making Resident Evil 4 VR a Facebook exclusive?
I'll tell you what I thought.
Davestation VR. They deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
That's exactly what I
There you
thought.
go.
That's exactly what I thought.
You gonna play RE4, Dave?
Oh, 100%. Dude, I love that game. That's one of my favorite Resident Evil games.
Me
It
too.
looks a little janky on Quest, I'll say. Like, I saw the video and I was like, they could have like remastered a little more.
Ladder climbing a little weird, right?
Yeah, it looks a little funky. But, I'll give it a shot. I'm definitely interested because, I don't know. It's
Resident Evil, man.
VR.
It's Resident Evil VR. It's in
Yeah,
VR.
you have to
What are you gonna
play it.
do?
Like, you must.
Gotta play it.
Yep.
Kind of
play
an
it.
essential thing, yeah.
Anyway, with that said, friend, I think we're going to wrap it up here. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red button, hit the bell to stay up with all of our content. Would you like to watch me ponder the same puzzle for 2 hours and not solve it? Well, you could
Subscribe.
see awesome things like that just by hitting
Well,
that bell. That's what
What about the Discord? Tell them about the
the
Discord.
Discord. In the
Yeah,
description below, there's an invitation to the Virtual Strangers Discord,
It's right
which is
there.
home. This is the place we call home, and we're opening our doors to you to
They
call it your
live
home as well.
In the Discord, it's really weird. There's like a bunch of
Yep.
mattresses and stuff.
Well, what's weird is people won't wipe their fucking feet. Wipe your feet, bro.
Yeah.
If you're coming in our
They don't
house,
take
you at
their
least
shoes
take.
off when they come in.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
They hardly
wipe
leaving the
their
door
ass.
open. It's
Yeah.
cold out. Close the door.
Yeah, Wes, why are you leaving the door open, bro? It's cold outside.
Dude, it's hot. You try playing VR in there, man. It gets hot.
It does, honestly. My
That's true.
AC unit's leaking, and I got to turn it off, and it's like hot. It's Florida.
Oh, God, that's right.
Mhm.
Trailer Man says math sucks, man. They, I don't know if you caught
Is
you
that a
caught
link?
my
You're talking about
if
the
you
SAT
caught
thing, yeah.
if no he watched my last Labyrinth stream last night.
Oh.
Literally there are algebraic puzzles in this game, and it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
That sounds
Like
terrible. Like if I have a
It
kid, I'll
was
learn algebra
horrible.
again, but otherwise I'm not.
Well,
learning algebra again.
you're gonna let that girl die. Then that anime girl, the innocent anime girl, is
I'm not
gonna die.
I'm not
Are
going to buy
you-
the game.
are you-
is what's going to happen?
Yeah. Are you taking it off your top 10 Quest horror games then?
yes,
You had it on your
yes,
top 10 Quest horror games?
yes, I
You
did. It
must
was
be-
like number.
that's-
It was
that's
like
like-
number 9.
You're
Quest,
grasping
for
at the
Quest.
bottom of the barrel
For
there.
Quest only.
Yeah.
No,
Not-
I put it
Not
over.
including PlayStation.
I put it over Affected the Manor. I put it over Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. I wasn't
I don't
grasping
even
it all.
like Five Nutties, and five
Five
Nutties.
Nutties. You know who else likes Five
You guys
Nutties?
got me up way too late. Motherfucker. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I didn't know. I was
Anyway,
gonna be- I thought you guys streamed at a reasonable time. I forgot.
Well, Wednesday nights
No.
are late night stream. The only
Yeah,
late
it's
night
okay.
Yeah.
VR talk show on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
That's right.
I did one late night without Pearl stream, and it was suitably unhinged, and I think this one is as well.
You just
wanna say
described
every
our
day?
show,
My
bro.
audio-
It's
Every
unhinged.
day.
My audio
Every day.
Baby.
That's literally
It's
it's
an
literally in
OG.
our description.
OG original Beating Baby.
Anyway, with that said, friends, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts, Eric, what's the other guy's name? Dave.
Dave.
Oh, that's
Uh,
yeah, you can call me Dave if you like.
Right,
I'm
that's
Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye now.
Keep it sleazy.
Take it easy.